So the data that you get back from 123D is quite a bit. So the best thing to do to look at the data is just hit H on the keyboard and just see more or less what you're working with. We have a series of locators. We have this mesh root, which these objects are actually parented under. So textured and untextured are parented under that. So if we display children, you get to see we have that. I'm not. For the most part, the untextured portions, let's look at that mesh. Let's grab this and just move it about. Yeah, doesn't seem like it's anything vital, so that's something we can go ahead and clean out. And just organizing the data is going to keep you sane while working on the project. So let's hit H again, and I can ignore everything that's within here. We can filter this out a few ways. Now for the cameras, probably don't want them visible, so a couple ways that we can go ahead and select and manage those cameras. So we can go to our object filters, grab our cameras, and we have nothing but camera selected, and we can just create a group from here, camera group. So now these cameras will behave as one object, and I can just right click in object properties and hide. But that makes it difficult to find them again and then unhide them. So if I just hit H, we can probably find this these guys here. If we just look at display hidden, let's see, select, where are you? Display, here we go. Display hidden objects. So now we have this, and then we have access to our camera group. So now that we have that selected, I can right click object properties, then unhide. So that gets to be kind of a pain. So some other things that we have access to in order to speed that up, we can create a group. That's another option, or excuse me, layers. That's could be another option for us. So here we can just go and click here and just make a cameras layer. And we can just hide that. And this button will just take whatever you had selected. That's why the cameras were already applied to the layer. I don't want this my active layer, so we'll just go ahead and click there, and the cameras are hidden, and this is now my active layer. So when I make new geometries, they won't automatically be hidden. Okay, so we'll just hit Z. Okay, so we have the layers. That's another method that we can work with, and I think that is an easier method because if we want to show or have access to those cameras again, this is probably the quickest way. Now, now that we hit our cameras, we can go ahead and check out. If I go and just Alt W here, let's look at our mesh in the scene. One thing that you might run into if you use this camera filter here, you'll have no access to your geometry, so just make sure that you just change your filter back. That's something to keep in mind. Okay. So you can see that the way that that I'm oriented in the scene, I'm kind of at this angle here. I'm just going to want to straighten out my mesh just to align the head, the main features, to the main axes that we have access to. So in this case, I want to line my face facing down the y-axis in this case. So we'll just grab my geo, and we'll just hit E to rotate. Just rotate this. It might be easier to visualize not in wireframe mode, and we'll just change this to consistent colors. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and just rotate that. We'll move them to be down the center plane. So that looks okay within this view, and then we'll check out our front view. Okay. Let's see, I'm just trying to get this to maximize. It doesn't seem to want to. There we go. Okay, so let's just try to get this facing. Let's kind of get it vertical. Okay. And we'll try to get this head just facing straight within this view. Just straighten that out just a little bit. There we are. So those are some things that you might want to consider. And these faces here, these are untextured polygons, and that's that other object that's here. So we have this under textured, and those are locators. Okay, so we can go ahead and just get rid of these locators here. Cool. So I didn't necessarily need those. They could prove useful. If you're going to want to use them. I never really looked at the locator data, but it's useful as for modeling purposes. But in this case, we actually have the model here. If I had more locators, I can use this more as a reliable tool. But in this case, they're kind of sporadic in their placement. So we'll just get rid of those. Oops. Reselect them and then clean that out. So now my scene, the only things that I should have this main dummy object. It's just a locator or null. It's just here, and my mesh is parented to that. So this is a decent place to work from. Now, I probably can get this more precise down the center and in position and orientation, but I should be okay with where I'm at. So we'll just save out the file and just move on.